They monitor your credit a lot. They do soft pulls every single month. That's why they accept a lot of people. You don't necessarily need a great credit score, believe it or not. Charge cards for American Express that have no preset limit. That doesn't mean you don't have a limit. They go off what's called spending powers.
Experian credit report. That's the one that they actually pull from. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
That's good to know.
The reason American Express is good and is bad, right?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Super excited about this interview today as we're going to be interviewing Toby Rosario as he's going to break down exactly 3 things that you guys do not know about the American Express business credit card. Now, he's the expert on this, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him in right away. So, Toby, are you with us today?
Yes, I'm super excited to be back again.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Let's go ahead and give the people what they came to see.
So the first thing is, so they have charge cards, right? So charge cards have this thing called no preset limit, right? So a credit card, you get approved, you get 20,000. That's your limit. Charge cards for American Express that have no preset limit. That doesn't mean you don't have a limit. They go off what's called spending power. So let's say you spend 30, you're a business and you're spending 30,000 on that card, right? And you pay it off in full every month. That limit, that spending power grows as you spend and pay off. So I've seen it up all the way up to 600,000 because I follow someone who does real estate, heavy in real estate. So it can go as high as you can afford. So if you're able to max it out and pay it off in full every single month, you can get that limit unlimited. That's why it says no preset spending limit.
Wow. Okay. So no preset spending limit. Okay. Gotcha. So that's number 1. What's number 2?
So number 2, a lot of people actually don't know this. So you can actually what we call reallocate or merge limits. So you can move one limit to the next. So you can actually move it from a personal card to a business card or from business to business. So you have 2 credit cards. You have one with 10,000, one with 5,000. You can move that 5,000 to that 10,000, make it 15,000 on one card. So that's another gem that a lot of people don't know about.
Wow. I've heard of this before, but never with American Express, so, and man, that's actually huge, especially if you start off with American Express, you get a credit card, the limit's not the highest, you end up getting another card from them and then they give you a higher limit, but you like the perks on that card. So I think that that's a great, way to most definitely maximize that. And then what's the third thing that people don't know about American Express?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know. So once you get approved for American Express, right, they'll hard pull you for that approval. But then anything after that, it's going to be a soft pull. So you can apply for multiple cards and it's going to be a soft pull. You're not getting that inquiry on your credit report. It's not hurting your score. They're just doing a soft pull on your Experian credit report.
Experian credit report. That's the one that they actually pull from. Okay.
Correct.
That's good to know. Now, what is so now, of course, if a person has an American Express credit card, because obviously you have this card, what are some things that you've seen? Or here, this is a better question. When you got approved for that card, whatever time that was, do you remember like how your business credit profile was at the time, or what do you think that they looked at, essentially to approve you?
Yeah. So the good thing about, believe it or not, they're actually not hard as far, like you don't necessarily need a great credit score, believe it or not. They're almost similar to Navy Federal. They're not credit score as credit, impacted as like a Chase or something like that. So you don't necessarily need a great credit score. But like I said, my score was a 720, but I've seen people get a 680, a 650 even for American Express. So you don't have to have like a perfect credit score. You don't want to be applying for these credit cards if you have collections or things like that. One thing I wanted to talk about also, the reason American Express is good and is bad, right? So if you have, remember I talked about that credit limit exposure. So if you have over 35,000, they are known for doing what's called the financial review, right? Meaning they will actually ask for documentation or tax returns if you exceed that over 35,000 credit limit exposure. On the personal side, they will actually ask for documentation. If you exceed that, if they don't feel that you make that amount of money that you put in the application, they regularly check your credit report. They monitor your activity. So you want to be very careful, not trying to get too many high limits with American Express, because they are known for what's called a financial review. A lot of people actually don't know that either.
Wow. Okay. So you gave us a bonus one.
Yeah.
There you go. So now what triggers that? Is this something in which you are already an Amex customer and then applying for another card, or you're saying if a person is brand new, not having any previous or current Amex relationships, and then they're starting with a brand new application? Like, what triggers that whole situation?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So what can trigger that is a lot of little things, a lot of activity, especially if you're brand new, like you're spending a lot of money right away. That could trigger that. If you're trying to like merge limit or you ask for the credit line increases a lot, that can trigger that. Or if you have over 35,000 on the personal credit line, that'll trigger that. Also, if you're checking with those charge cards or credit cards, if you keep, so there's a thing that you can check spending power, meaning like if I have a American Express Gold business credit card, right? I can actually check to see if they'll approve me for a $20,000 transaction. It'll tell you, okay, you're approved for that, right? You can check what's called spending power. If you do that constantly, they start to get they start to see, wait a minute, why is he checking how much he, like they consider that like fraudulent activity. So they'll sometimes ask for financial documentation. So you want to avoid all those little things. You want to make your spend organic, and what you want to make sure that whatever credit limit you're able to manage that, and you don't spend anything out of the ordinary. You want to keep everything organic. You don't want to do anything out of the ordinary, because American Express is very prone to do that. They monitor your credit a lot. They do soft pulls every single month to make sure. That's why they accept a lot of people, because they can always cut your limits. They can always close your accounts, right? They're really known to do that. So you just want to be careful. I just wanted to give guys some sort of context so they understand that American Express is not a relationship you want to burn. You want to tread lightly with American Express.
Wow, man, that's huge. That's huge. And a lot of people don't talk about that, in my opinion, either, because again, we look at Amex as one of, the top credit cards, companies that's been around for years. And, but a lot of people don't talk about, how strong it is to have a good relationship, with them. They always talk about, relationships as far as credit unions are concerned, but this is huge, great information as well, too. So, and Toby, you talk about these things a lot, especially on your YouTube channel. So what are some other things that you cover on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I talk a lot about business credit cards, personal credit cards, business funding. I talk a little bit about real estate using business credit, but generally speaking, I talk personal credit, business credit, and finances and things like that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, listen, guys, make sure you guys go ahead and check out his channel as well, too. But keep in mind, listen, none of this means anything if you guys are not putting yourself in a position, to get these credit scores that you need. And that's where our advanced credit blueprint is going to come in to help you, get in position to get that higher credit score. So you guys can start actually putting yourself in position to start doing the things that Toby talked about. OK, because, again, none of this doesn't mean anything if you don't meet the qualifications, guys. So you got to get yourself, in that realm of qualifications. So thanks again, Toby, for stopping by the channel. We greatly appreciate you stopping by today.
Thank you for having me.